After gaining independence from the United Kingdom in 1963, Kenya has built its own identity and become a vibrant country, now one of the most advanced in Central Africa, while still being able to boast natural wonders like its wildlife and a slice of Lake Victoria. Kenya is also at the center of an African digital revolution. Hello, my name is Umay Jones.
And I'm Damacus.
The second largest continent on Earth is currently seeing a change in the ways in which its population connects digitally. However, compared to the likes of North America, Europe and Asia, in the past Africa has not been able to compete in terms of digital development. Currently, under a third of Africans use the internet, far below the global average of 50%, and while Kenya itself was highlighted in the Global Innovation Index of 2016 for performing better than its level of development would suggest, it still only achieves 39% penetration rate. The lack of investment in modern infrastructure also makes it hard for African countries like Kenya to become easily accessible for global businesses. Today, we are going to look at how things are beginning to change in Kenya, what the country's digital landscape can expect to look like in the future, and which barriers it will have to overcome to get there. One issue faced by Kenyan internet users is the discrepancy between digital access for men and for women.
Whilst Kenya lies behind only South Africa when it comes to overall internet penetration in Africa, its gender gap is preventing the country from catching up with more advanced countries across the globe. Currently, half of men in the country go online, whilst less than a third of women do the same. The International Association of Women in Radio and Television have said that high levels of illiteracy amongst women in the country are also to blame, with the correlation between internet use and education being very high. However, it was found by the University of Southern California and the UN that when given the opportunity, Kenyan women are actually more active digital users than men. Unfortunately, no matter how enthusiastic women might be about new technology, they sometimes struggle to use it even if they have a device in their home. Due to several socioeconomic factors, low-income households usually share a handset that is predominantly carried by male members of the family. This lack of access has led to the introduction of private organizations such as I Am the Code, which aims to give young women in marginalized communities the ability to use and create new digital technologies.
However, it isn't all doom and gloom. The future is bright for Kenya, as it sits in the top 3 of the world's fastest growing economies. Recently, some of the world's largest companies have launched their own services in Kenya. Facebook in particular caught the attention of internet users worldwide with the announcement of its Free Basics initiative. Originally launched as Internet.org in 2013, the scheme is designed to bring cheap online access and select few internet services to developing countries. Available in Kenya since late 2014, users can access a limited section of the internet including BBC News, Facebook Messenger, as well as weather updates and local information services. This was followed up by the release of Facebook Messenger Lite, aimed at markets like Kenya. It contains some of the features found on the standard app, but requires far less data transfer, making it suitable for Kenya's currently limited internet speed. It was released with a statement from Facebook saying that Messenger apps were no longer just for those with high-end devices. Another American internet giant looking to find new users in Africa is eBay. Recently, the auction site signed a deal with Mall for Africa to make US eBay items available to Kenyan buyers. However, it's not just American social media and e-commerce coming to make the most of Kenya's newfound love for digital. Water pump company Grundfos has teamed up with Ericsson to develop a water dispenser for the African market. Launched in Kenya first, the dispenser allows users to pay for water with mobile payment services. With mobile payment capabilities, access to water is now more widespread and cheaper. But as with more advanced countries around the world, it's not just international businesses making a difference in Kenya.
Kenya's capital is itself becoming the center of its own tech revolution. The heart of the country's so-called Silicon Savannah can be found in Nairobi, which is home to tech community facilities such as iHub and NaiLab. At the tech centers, new ideas are developed and invested in as entrepreneurs continue to push the African technology space forwards. Due to the decreasing price of internet connections and technological access in the country, this is becoming a more common occurrence each year. The development of apps that can be used on cheap smartphones with limited online access is booming, allowing places like iHub to add to the 30-odd startups it can already claim to have been developed within its community. What's more, the innovations that have come out of Nairobi have shown how tech can advance the country further in other sectors, such as energy, healthcare, and education. The learning platform and virtual classroom Eneza Education is one such project which launched in 2011. It was improvised by what its founders called an overwhelming need for more teachers in the country. Eneza means that instead of one teacher attempting to give tuition to around 80 students, those children can now access courses through a low-cost cell phone. To date, Eneza has educated more than 1.6 million people in Kenya. Also making a difference to life in the country is M-Kopa, another company founded in 2011 within Nairobi's iHub. To date, the business has brought energy to nearly 500,000 homes in Eastern Africa with its solar power technology. The solar stations can be used to charge mobile phones too. Currently, 70% of Kenyans have no electricity but good mobile phone coverage. Thanks to M-Kopa, Kenyans can now call their friends, light their houses, and watch television at home on their devices. These businesses and many similar initiatives have one thing in common. They are cheap, accessible to citizens in rural areas, and promote the idea that technology is now able to make a difference to everyday lives. It seems that tech is truly making its mark on Kenya.
So, moving forward, the country has plenty to look forward to. Kenya is already taking its own steps to maximize its opportunity in the global market. The East African Community, or EAC, aims to increase trade and commerce between countries, and Kenya has become one of its founding members. The country has also recently agreed a deal with the Chinese e-commerce site, Amambo. This deal aims to provide cheaper logistic costs to items exported and imported between two countries, bringing the Chinese market and e-commerce success closer to merchants in Kenya. So, what does the future hold for the country? Well, research suggests that Kenya's recent upswing will continue far into the future. GDP growth in the country is expected to increase further to more than 6% for 2017, and Kenya's fellow African neighbors are helping push the continent forward as well. By 2020, around a quarter of the world's smartphones are expected to be in Africa, with 60% of the continent online. In fact, in just 3 years, its IT sector will represent 8% of its entire GNP, twice that of Europe's. And finally, by 2025, as a result of the current investment and dedication to its progression, Africa's e-commerce market is forecast to be worth $75 billion, up from $8 billion in 2013. It seems then that Africa, and especially Kenya, have much to look forward to and are on the brink of becoming markets which businesses should be taking strong interest in.
That's it from us today. I hope this helped provide a useful insight into the exciting future of the Kenyan e-commerce market. Goodbye.